Erin
Okay,
and I spoke
thank you.
yesterday. Yeah, we touched a little bit on it yesterday. I'm going to actually be touching on a little bit today for everybody to see if there's anybody out there who is looking to make a new hire, right? So I just need to wait for our office to quiet down.
Val, it looks so sunny in there.
I have a ring light. So I just did, before I jumped on this call, I had like a speaker training call. And I know I'm not like a fan of ring. Actually, you know what, guys? I'm so sorry. I'm lying to you. It's my halo. And they're like, you know, they swear by it. They're like, shut your light off in your office. And I can't turn my lights on in the office because then it looks like I actually have a halo wherever my finger is over my head. So yeah. So I'm moving on up in this tech world here, guys, with the ring light.
It's awesome.
All right, we're going to get started. Montana, is that crew gone? Okay, yeah. All right, well, thank you everybody for coming to the October Mastermind. I'm glad we were doing it virtually instead of in person. Even though you're allowed to have 10 people in the brokerage, I just thought it's just fair. How do I decide if 10 people actually want to come? And then more, how do I decide who to say no to? So this is best, and we get to invite more people. So I know we have some new names on here. Does everyone want to take a minute and just say what market center they're from so we all know who's who? And I'm going to start with Tammy because you're at the top here with me, Tammy.
Sorry, I was muted. Yep, so I am the director of ops for, that sounds so weird, for Campbell & Company for Ryan Campbell from Keller Williams Golden Triangle.
Welcome. And Montana, who says Megan.
Hi, I'm Montana. I'm the transaction manager at the Knight and Real Estate Advisors.
Oh, we lost somebody here. And do we want to go down to Karina, is it? Hello, welcome.
Hi, I work at the Keller Williams in Mississauga for Robio Realty Group. So I'm a new hire admin.
Are you? How long have you been working?
For David, I've been working since.
Sorry, I missed that. Someone cut in.
Oh, that's okay. Just since August.
Oh, well, welcome. If you ever need anything at all, reach out to any one of us here, okay?
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome. Haley, you're up.
Hi, I'm Haley. Sorry I look like a mess because it's my day off, but I'm here.
And you're on a call on your day off?
Yeah, so I look like total trash. I'm the client concierge for the Rise Realty Group with Keller Williams. I've only been working with them for not even a month, so I'm brand new. And yeah.
How you liking it?
I'm loving it so far. Great group, and Tammy's helped me a lot. She's been like my backbone, so it's great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Kayla, how are you?
I am on mute now. I'm good. I'm good. I'm Kayla. I am at KW Mississauga with Chan Real Estate Group, and I am on the operations team. No official title, just because our roles, you know, do that constantly. So I've just started just telling people, yeah, operations team.
Awesome. And there's Jessie. Hi, Jess.
Hi. Yeah, so I'm Jessie. I work for McKay Realty Network, and I am the Director of Agent Services and also transactions at the moment for about a month now.
Nice. And Ashley, how are ya? I know you just jumped on, and we're just jumping in, saying what market center we're with and our position.
I am I'm with the Jeffrey Group, and we are out of Keller Williams in Halton Hills, but we do all of Halton essentially. And I am everything except for media and events right now, which we just hired someone for that. So I'm super excited.
Nice.
To push that off.
Someone specifically for media and events.
And events. She's basically, we're calling it client care, but anything that has to do with clients, she touches, that's her now.
That's awesome. Good for you guys.
That's very exciting.
Yeah. Melanie behind the camera. Hello.
I'm from Mississauga, just Karina and Mila. I'm just with Hairstyles Homes, and I just started this assistant position just a month ago.
Holy moly, guys. Look at all the new ones here. That's awesome. I love it. So here's what I was originally going to do today. I'm still going to do it, but I'm going to make it understandable because we do have newer admins on the call. So you're probably wondering what is going to be my takeaway here. So before I go into what I had planned for us today, which was all around business planning for 2021 and how to set your team up for that, does anybody want to talk about anything that they have questions around or in terms of systems? Like, let's have an open floor for anyone who's looking for ideas. So for some of the newer people, don't hesitate. There's no question that sounds silly or one that we've dealt with 1,000 times over. Okay, so does anyone have anything specific that they wanted to learn from today? We're here till 3, so I'm good.
I wanted to ask, kind of pick everyone's brains around their accounting systems.
Okay.
Because we don't have one. And other than me just tagging things in there in the inbox and stuff. So I wanted to pick everyone's brains about that.
So when you say accounting and you're tagging them in inbox, what are you tagging them in inbox for accounting?
So a lot of miscellaneous receipts for either repairs or just like how you guys like file things in terms of like what goes into like listing prep, what goes into maintenance, what goes into just general tax stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
That seems to have fallen into my lap, and I'm like, I don't know.
So the first thing I suggest, I'm going to open the floor up for if anybody else has any ideas, is getting QuickBooks. You can get a free version on the desktop. I think it's a limited trial for a few months. And then I believe, and I could be wrong, it could be anywhere from $20 a month, depending on what version you get. So get QuickBooks. Pre-populate the bank account and the credit card to it. So any transactions that's being done will roll into QuickBooks for you. And then what you do is, I'm just going to give you a simple one for now, and then accounting, you'll learn it as you go. But the easiest thing is get 12 files, big files, and mark them January to December, and plug those monthly receipts right into that. That's the best way to get started at the very basic foundation for it. Does that make sense? Yeah. And if anyone else has any quick tips, throw them out there, please. We all know how hard accounting is. Don't leave her hanging.
Try and get your team, Rainmaker agents, whatever it is, to operate off of business cards and not confuse personal expenses with business expenses, because that was one of my biggest hurdles.
And then anybody else has any kind of quick tips to help out with accounting?
I would just say,
Go ahead.
I'm just going to say, make sure that I came across a card that I didn't realize was attached to an account, and only because it expired. And then I realized, how many other things were attached to things I didn't realize before. And I'm assuming it's a personal card, and that's exactly going back to the personal versus business. But then, making that jump, moving those things so that you don't have to then have any surprises later too. And asking, are you sure this is the only thing attached to this card? Even checking, go back and check your receipts and make sure, or your statement, because it was a great surprise, but I had no idea what the card was. And I was like, wait, so what else could possibly be attached that you didn't think about, right? And it was just that it was a card that he had before I started. And so it was obviously the one that he gave at the very beginning before there was the business versus personal.
That it's going to be tricky, and you're going to learn new things as you go. And we can talk afterwards. I can even send you, I have like a video on profit and loss and all that stuff, like how to get started. I can send it to you so you can just have that and watch it at your own pace, okay?
That would be great. Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else? That was a big one actually for, what you guys think? She came in hard with the accounting right off the bat.
I think my one thing, and it's way easier said than done, but just try to stay on top of it, because if you stick the receipts in the folder and then ignore them for 3 months, then you have a very hard, time ahead of you. So as much as you can, even if you allot, an hour a week or something like that, just to then, I don't know, however you end up organizing it, putting it into QuickBooks or whatever, do it like time block 1 hour at least, and don't let it get away from you. Otherwise you're going to end up with many, many hours of work to do. And David being like, I don't remember what that receipt was for. Who did I take out on that line? Things like that. So yeah, I used to ask Derek to write when he'd throw his receipts into my pile. I would ask him, can you just write really quickly, like what it's for or what client it was? That way I just have a note of reference, because sometimes you can't always tell, sometimes you can tell with the receipts, but sometimes you can't. If it's a Walmart, were you buying cleaning supplies for the listing, or were you buying, what were you getting, so.
Are you doing that daily or weekly?
Well, we use a different program now, but we used to do just paper receipts. And so in that case, he would literally just, whenever he had them, he would just kind of dump them on my desk. But I would always ask him, please write down what it's for. Otherwise, I'm going to come and ask you later. So just write it down and save us both the trouble.
Awesome. Thanks, Kayla.
Yeah, no problem.
Sorry, guys. Keep going. Anyone else got another quick tip? Come on, those are good ones.
I was just going to say I often think of the difference between expenses before close and after. So there's been a couple times where we've had things come up where like the person left garbage and they moved days before, way out of town. It's not like you can communicate. So that, first of all, was a fail on my part because I didn't communicate properly to them what the definition was. So we fixed that. We explained what broom swept means, sweep the broom and take the garbage and that kind of stuff. But day of, we ended up, just get rid of it. We have to get rid of it. So I think it was like a low cost of say even $50-$60 to pay someone to go and pick up all the garbage and take it out. However, to me, that's an after closing cost, which comes out of a commission. It's no longer part of a budget because it's already done. So I think it's important to track those because then you can see what they're losing out of their commission for little things like that. And at the end of the year, they'll add up. And there are things that you don't often think about. You can budget for your listing and prepare for what's going to go into that dollar-wise, but anything after, I always say that's coming out of your commission and not part of the budget because we didn't budget for these errors. It doesn't matter who they are. Everybody takes it on the team, but those are things that are going to affect the, what we thought the commission would be or what we thought the end was going to be. So and a lot of little ones could end up, we've only had, I think 2, but that's, really important in the end.
Those are great ones. Anita, do you have your camera on? Or is your camera not working? That's what I meant.
No, hun, I actually just stepped out for lunch, so I'm just not gonna show you where I'm walking. It's a lot of traffic, so I apologize. I'm on behalf of Christine, so I'm listening.
I'm just teasing you, by the way.
Oh,
Anita
okay.
is new too. She's been in her role for 2 weeks now, Anita?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah. So welcome. This is our first admin mastermind. So I love the fact that we have new admins joining us, new faces or black screens, whatever you want to call them. So that's
Thank you
lovely.
so much for the welcome.
So before we get started into what I set up for us today, is there anybody else who has any other questions or something that they wanted to learn or take away from today? Because I want to get all that stuff done for us first so we can sit back and relax during the last little bit. No, we're good. All right, so this is going to be just like take it as we were a large group of people. If you need to interrupt at any time, unmute yourself and just join in the conversation, guys. Don't hesitate. I'm going to start a slideshow presentation for us. Well, it's not really, listen to me, slideshow presentation. I'm going to share a screen with you. And I wanted to talk about today business planning. So I don't know about you guys, but our team usually starts around October getting ready to, hold on, I gotta wait for this thing to go. Here we are. Our team usually starts goal planning in October. And before COVID hit, obviously every October, I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but Glenn McQueenie always does the year-end business planning where he travels around and holds a huge seminar for the agents on picking their goals or going over goals for next year and kind of tying up the year end. And that's not happening this year, or it definitely hasn't been announced that we're doing it. So our team used to do that, and then we would actually segue into our own, we called a year-end team advance. We would rent a boardroom and spend 8 hours just hashing out what 2021 is going to look like. Obviously, this year we've taken a little bit of a different approach, and I'm just going to see who joined in here. Oh, hello, Carrie.
Hello, Valerie.
So we're going to get right into it, guys. Someone else is joining in or leaving us at the same time. Oh, hello. Okay. I'm going to put you guys over here for now. So with that being said, I thought how great would it be to set you guys up to understand what 2021 business planning is going to look like for your team or your agent. Whether you do it or not, the things that are in here will help excel your business. So I didn't put everything that we focus on in here because this we could be doing like 3-hour talk today. So I just was very laser focused and put something together quickly for us so that way we can work together on it. So one of the things, okay, first of all, why is it important for us to be involved? Does anyone know why it's important for us admins to be involved in business planning? Tammy, you're shaking your head, so tell me why. Why is it important, Tammy?
Budget planning, gotta know where they're at so that you can watch the budget.
Mm-hmm. What other reasons should we be involved in the business planning?
You gotta keep them held accountable to their goals throughout the year as well.
Yeah. Anyone else with one last effort? That's actually like bang on, Tammy, by the way. It's because we are part of the growth. We are the energy, we're the vision. As the operations side, whether you're a director of operations, executive assistant, a transaction coordinator, whatever you are to your team, you are part of the growth. Your opinion, especially when you're someone who's been with your company for quite a long time, is so valuable. You also bring the energy every day that keeps your team going. I mean, it'd be silly for us not to think that. And we also are part of the vision. So that's why it's really important that we try to be as involved as we can. In fact, on our team, I have each of our, on our admin team, I have each of us working on a project. Because in 2021, my goal is to make sure we've launched something brand spanking new for the agents. Why would people stay on a team if we just continue to keep doing what we're doing? We call that the comfort zone, and we all know that nothing grows there. So I want to make it our job to find a new vision. And I'll share with you guys for our listing manager what an incredible idea she has. She wants to take the entire listing process virtual, which means paperless every step of the way. And what does that look like? Well, we're putting it in place and we're going to be launching it November 13th to our team. So it's super exciting. And then, you know, getting our transaction coordinator, she's actually making sure commission structure, if there's anything new we want to do in terms of that, she's creating a whole entire project around that. Marketing, we're actually going on a whole entire marketing platform now. We've actually hired a company to work with Megan to build us out for 2021. So those are the things that we've committed to as administrators. My commitment is to have something new for our agents to be launched at our year-end business planning, so that way they can see the value in being part of our team. So some of the topics you guys should be including or working on for your agent. So for Chris is my team leader. So behind the scenes, I'll go together and I'll put some things in place, such as the achievements from 2020. And I'll use 2020 and 2021, guys, for examples. Technically, because that's the year that we're in. And I also spelled highlights wrong. Don't judge. Highlights. So we should be putting together our highlights for 2021 every year at the beginning of our business planning. If anyone's sitting here going, well, we don't really do that, Val, what do I do today? Because we just don't do that. Guys, if you don't do it, there is nothing wrong with you time blocking 2 hours of your time and your agent's time. If you're just a single agent with an admin, there is no issues around time blocking 2 hours to goal plan for 2021. If you're not doing that, you're just going into 2021. So I highlight the achievements. I actually put together a slideshow presentation for our team. I highlight all of the events that we've done, all the things that we've done. I put photos and videos together, and that's how we start our team meeting. So we always start on a high note. We start off with what brings the energy. So I have a video done by our photographer. She puts together a slideshow. It's kind of cool. And it just kind of, it's a huge reflection of what you did the year before as a team. One of the things we tackle at our team meeting, and guys, if you haven't already done this, write this down for new admins that are joining agents, knowing the culture of your team. So covering what the mission statement is, covering your own mission, vision, values. So for us, our mission statement is building trust with our clients so our clients can build better lives. We'll take that and we'll say at the beginning of this meeting, do we still stand by that? Do we still believe that that's what we're doing? And then we'll cover our mission, our statement, and big whys and all of that stuff to make sure we're all on the same page. One of the things we also talk about is the ideal team member. And I don't know if any other team does this. We kind of did this last year at our mid-year review. We created a chart and we asked the team before we met, what does your ideal team member look like? Who is the person you want to work with every single day? And we all wrote down our list of our pros and then of our cons, who we want to work with and who we don't want to work with. And then from there, we put together what we call our ideal teammate. So whenever we hire somebody now, we look at that and say, do they fit our ideal team member? And it all comes back to the culture. Figuring out what the culture is for your team. And you're probably wondering, why does this have anything to do with business planning? Because if your team's not based on culture, find out what it's based on. If it's based on, you know, what's another way you guys can, let's say transactional. If you're just focused on the transactions, then figure out what all that stuff looks like within that so you can build out your transactional business. For us, we're solely built on culture and relationship building, and that's what we focus on during all of our business planning. Another good stat, and I told a few of you before how to use this, and I don't know if anyone actually uses this, Chris and I use this monthly, is your market share. So you know when you go to the team meeting, they say, okay, your team is number 1 for this, your team is number 2 for this. Those are your stats. But go to the KW website, My KW, go to your reports tab, click on multi-year trends, find out where your agent sits on that chart. And we just found out yesterday, we have slipped up into number 4.
Can you repeat that where it goes? Sorry.
Yeah, so mykw.com.
Yeah.
And then you go up to reports, which is up in the left-hand corner right under your photo.
Okay.
And then slide down to multi-year trends.
Yeah.
And then there'll be a few, I don't know, 4 or 5 different options for you. I can't think of which one it is to look at right off the bat, but I think it'll be team stats or agent stats. So you click on that, and then to make your thing easier, there's little binoculars. You know how you look for the magnifying glass? These are their binoculars.
Mm-hmm.
You hit the binoculars and type in your team name or how you're known in the agents or whatever it is. For us, it's Knight and Real Estate Advisors. And it should bring up where you sit in the market center. So know where you sit monthly. So you know if you're up or down, trending up and down by the end of the year. Know where you sit for your real estate board. So you know when everyone sends out, which I love, by the way, when Keller Williams puts together the market centers, we're 1% of the real estate board, 1% of RAB, those kind of stats. Take it one step farther and find out where you actually sit. Is it number 1? Are you in top 10 of your board? What does that 1% look like? Or if you're 6% or whatever your number is, what does that actually look like for you? Any questions around that? Because what you're going to do is when you sit down as a team and you discuss your achievements from last year, no matter where you sit on those stats, guys, you've got to celebrate that. Unless you were seen at number 1 and then you end up at 600. That's a whole other conversation. But you should be celebrating all of those stats, where you sit every single time. So knowing where you sit in your market center, know where you sit within Keller Williams, know where you sit within your real estate board. And we talk about those. We do a slideshow presentation for that too, and we show everybody kind of where we sat, if we went up or if we went down or if we kind of zigzagged throughout the year. And then we have a conversation around it. Why do you think we did this? So I'm going to just quickly put together a few things for you guys, but during these conversations, obviously go into a little bit more detail. Then we get started. Then we get started on our goals. So we take our 2020 goals. What did they look like? Where do we sit? Did we come close to our goal? Did we surpass our goal? Or we just bang on? And then we look at our individual stats. So This can be tricky because a lot of teams are not tracking. Those of you who have 2 or 3 agents at a time, some of you are not tracking, and that's okay. So don't look at this as a place you need to be at. It's very good if you guys do have a great tracking system. You can also pull the reports from your market center, I think, right, Jesse? Like they could go to the market center and ask each team member's stats, right? That's why I love having Jesse on these calls. So putting the goals, or sorry, discussing the goals, seeing where you're at. I mean, it shouldn't be a surprise when you get to a year-end business planning meeting that you know your goals. Like this should have been something that you guys talked about every single month. Celebrate whatever wins you had that year for your goals. And then what's your vision for 2021? This is something, guys, you do not plan this at the end of December. You do not plan this at the beginning of December. You do not plan this at the end of November. Your agents should be looking at their vision now. As we enter into the last quarter, the next 3 months is going to be a lot of reflection about the year before, where we could have hit better. I mean, let's talk about COVID, right? So many big things happened this year. We should be vision planning late October, very early November. We actually choose to do our year-end business plan at the end of every October. This year, just strictly due to COVID, we've pushed it back to November 13th. Does anyone have anything else that they would typically discuss under goals that I'm missing the mark on here? Has anyone got any other suggestions of things that they would add to that?
We normally like to talk about what sort of client events we're going to do that year, because sometimes it changes, or we're like, okay, this didn't quite work last year, so let's push, you know, our client appreciation event, let's do it in a different month or whatever it is. So we try to kind of map out any sort of, events or giveaway type things we're going to do.
Yeah, I like that. So you would talk about like your goal in 2020 is to have this many client events. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
We do. Yeah. So we do the same thing too. So for us, it was always, we did a really big Canada Day event, and then we did a pumpkin event. Obviously we didn't do the Canada Day event, but we still delivered pumpkins. So we kind of shifted a little bit there. Anybody else have any suggestions under the goal category, what you would like to see your team add, that you want to add to your goals for next year in your business planning?
We just this year, well, the tail end of this year, started adding and planning to add for each month, or at least every other month, a charity that we're going to align with, so that when we do events and stuff, but it locally, we want to make sure that we're, especially because of everything that's going on, how can we do the business, how can we support our local businesses, and a charity that we can then kind of fund as well. So each month we're going to kind of discuss a give back or a charity that we can try to generate some funds for.
Oh, I like that.
And so we've started kind of planning that as well.
Good. Keep with that. That's a good one. And then I keep moving your faces everywhere. You guys don't even know it. So one of the things that we spend a lot of time talking on during our team meeting is lead sources. So what were the top 3 lead sources for us this year in business? And we do that because we are very, very strict when it comes to tracking. So we can tell you how many people have walked through our open houses, how many of those people that walked through the open houses were converted into clients. So we're able to say like our top lead sources were Facebook, open houses, door knocking, if that would be the case. Knowing those numbers and being able to communicate that to your team during the thing is amazing, because it shows your team all the effort they put in all year round, where it actually went. And then you take those 3 lead sources, guys, and you focus on a plan to elevate that. So let's say door knocking was like the #1 thing. What are you guys going to do this year to elevate door knocking? Is it reaching out a new area that you haven't targeted before? Is it creating new door knockers that will grab better attention than they ever have before? Like, what is it? So find your lead sources, your top 3, and what are you going to do to make them even better? And then one step farther, what are not your good lead sources? Like, let's say if cold calling had a return of 5%, 5% of your deals happened because of cold calling. What would be the outcome to that? I'm going to start picking people. Tammy, what would you do if your lead source for cold calling was at 5% return? Would you get rid of it altogether?
No,
So what would you do?
change your focus. Yeah, I think that they would have to spend more time on that. So time blocking would be something they'd have to start putting into their daily schedule. Yeah.
Maybe better script practicing. It could be that their conversion's just not the best, so script practicing. The reason why I'm asking this, guys, is because we as operations need to know this. So we need to know what sources are working and what aren't, and how we can make it better, or do we get rid of it? What's the best option? The second thing is we talk about lead gen, and on our team, we obviously have a huge commitment to lead gen. Actually, sorry, I forgot. I wanted to talk about too, how much of your business was referral? So we have an agent on our team who's now pretty much running a repeat and referral business, which is incredible. It took him 2 years to get there, but talk about how amazing that must feel. Does that mean that they stop their lead gen and their focus on that? Absolutely not. But it does make life a little bit easier when things are cut. You definitely feel good about yourself when that happens. So lead gen, again, our team is very strict about our lead gen and how many hours we put in. So as a team, as a director of operations or anyone in operations, you should know how many hours were spent lead genning. If you guys use Mojo, go right into your Mojo account and you can see how many hours were Mojoed, how many actual dials were made, how many contacts, and then whatever the categories are from there. Come to the year-end plan and say, guys, like you guys Mojoed for 2,136 hours. You had something ridiculous like 1,700 dials. Like come to them with that information. You might think that they don't care and they're not interested, when in the matter of fact, that either motivates them or it shows them, okay, this is where I need to be better. And then really tackle in on what was the major source of lead gen. What worked the best? Was it door knocking? Was it cold calling? Was it follow-ups? Like what was your networking? Whatever that was. I'm telling you right now, because of COVID, so many people have forego the natural things that we used for lead gen. So think about the incredible ideas that people have created during COVID to lead gen. Listen to these people, try to find other methods. There's new methods out there for lead gen, guys. If anyone has any, tell me right now because I'm looking for some new ideas. Open houses. Like I said before, our team tracks open houses. How many people walk through the door? So what we do is at the end of an open house, we actually send a group email out to our team and to the sellers, and we call it an open house breakdown. So we thank them for letting us come to the open house. We say we had 13 people attend. 5 were working with agents, the other people weren't, and I plan on following up with those people. And then we do the conversion to how many people walked to the door, how many people signed a BRA, and how many people booked an appointment from that. Imagine the power to be able to know how many people you served in an open house. Like just say like, oh, I'll take Montana for instance. Montana, you had 525 people come to your open house this year, all your open houses this year. And you converted 20 of those people into an actual deal. Like just be very powerful when it comes to your lead sources, your lead gen, and tracking your numbers. That's what this part is about, guys. If there's newer admins on here and you're like, I don't understand how to track numbers, please don't feel like you have to get off this call and start tracking numbers. You will drive yourself insane, but just know it's a conversation to have with your agency. What do you do in terms of tracking? I'd love to have a look at that. Okay. And then what do we got here? COVID stats. Obviously, you can have a whole entire topic during your business planning around COVID stats. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really exhausted talking about it. Like incredibly exhausted that I just can't even open up some of Facebook anymore because everyone has an opinion and it's so strong. And we resort to putting other people down to make ourselves look better. I just can't. However, it is actually part of our business this year. So where were our weak points during COVID? Can anyone identify right now a weak point in their business and share it with us, please? Carrie Ann. Oh, Tammy took the mute off. You're next though, Carrie, get ready.
I was going to say just follow-ups. Our team's been really bad with follow-ups.
Really?
Yeah, like, and it's interesting because we let our marketing guy go, I found, and we also had an agent go last week, I found 300 leads in command that hadn't been touched.
Okay,
that
so
were
is it
given to
business
him.
or follow-ups?
That were business, like leads that were given to him that weren't followed up on,
Oh,
had
man.
nothing had been done. And it's like, why am I giving you this stuff? So, you know, that lead system is a big factor for us right now as far as what the follow-up system we're going to be using. So that's my big thing right now, is working on that. So that's a weak point for us, and we're going to get stronger next year on it.
Oh, I love that. So let me ask you this. If it was any other agent on your team right now, would there have been an issue with those leads?
So we have 3 other agents on our team. One is a seasoned agent. The other 2 are fairly new. So now that we've been able to script with them and do things with them, I feel like they can take them and run with them. If I'd given them to them, say 4 months ago, I don't know how well the follow-up system would have been with them,
Okay.
or how much the conversion would have been with them.
So did you do a tally of how much business is sitting in that person's account of those
Oh
calls?
yeah.
Okay, good. That was where I was going with that one.
Yeah. Yeah. So actually Andre walked us through that yesterday and just took like how much that would have been in business we've lost this year, unfortunately. So.
And don't keep that to yourself. Share that with the other agents, right? Because then what it does is it tells them, get your act together in your own database. You got this.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, as a team, we all lost this.
Yes.
Right? So good. That's good. Any other like Carrie, come on. What's your weak point?
I think, our agents really depend on open houses for their leads. Like, it's a big lead source for them.
Oh.
So they've complained a lot about that. And then when we did do them, it was like because we did a couple for about, I think, 3 weeks when it was somewhat acceptable, I guess you could say. But now it's turning out to be not acceptable anymore. So we're going back to our virtual open houses. But we, I think that was our biggest loss there, is the open houses.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a little bit, guys. So we were the same way, Carrie Ann. Our team loved open houses. Like, it was probably one of our top lead sources, and our agents really thrive in open houses. And I don't know if anyone saw this, but Oria sent an email out today urging everyone to stop with open houses. And I took urge as like, okay, so they're not actually saying you can't. Then you go inside and you're like, today I announce that you should not proceed with it. I'm like, okay, so that's a hard no, that one there. And then that they were actually going to the government to ask them to put a ban on open houses, our own like real estate board. So just be mindful, if you guys haven't seen that email, that is coming down the pipeline. I don't know what's happening from that. But to go back to open houses, here's what we did. This is one of the mistakes, not a mistake, like a really big lesson learned that we're still trying to figure out. And if it helps anybody, or if anyone has any suggestions, let's throw it out there. So when we stopped doing the virtual open house, the open houses, we went virtual. And I think we've all talked about the virtual system. The problem was that you're not generating any leads from that still. So you're still not converting the buyers that are coming through or watching your thing. So we started, okay, we'll take it one step farther, and we'll like interact with those people outside after the video's done. And then as the video is being pushed and still being out there in the world, in the social media world, we'll just keep connected with those people, whoever comments and likes. Still wasn't working. Some of our agents started getting creative, and they were like, stay to the end of my video and win a gift card. That we tapped that resort pretty fast. That didn't really work. So then the last thing we started to do is we signed up for Calendly, this is what we're going to be doing if we should have to go back to virtual. Get Calendly, guys. It's like you could create your link for scheduling and register for stuff. What you do is you go into it and you put what days you're available. Okay, so if anyone's watching you online, actually, if you go to Daniela on our team, she did that in one of her posts. She did like an information video on the market. If you want more information, click the link below and get your free 30-minute consult or a free consult with me. Don't use the word free, but that's kind of like where she's going. Click this and get your consult with me. And then that way she was able to book somebody, get their information, and have a conversation with them. Sorry guys, I haven't asked her how that's worked out. But what I'm saying is when you're putting your virtual open house videos back up, have that link. Interested in booking a showing or interested in booking a virtual showing or whatever we have to do after all this, guys, click the link here and just make sure that link and all of the dates in the background match the agent's schedule, okay? Because they have to have that gap open in their calendar in order for it to work. So you're gonna have to talk to the agents to make sure it's time blocked accordingly. What were some strengths during COVID, guys? I know there's lots out there, so let's not pretend. We all had some pretty big strengths or success. We could even change it to success.
Well, we started a weekly Facebook Live panel type thing that we've been getting a lot of views on, and just, I mean, not leads, but we've just been getting a lot of hits on it.
Yep.
And also we did hire a new marketing person.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, she's virtual, or she's off-site, and she actually fixed all our back-end stuff and everything, and we're getting a heck of a lot more leads from our website now, so that's good.
That's awesome. And I know you said like that you were getting more views and likes than you were leads.
Yeah.
But you have to remember, we also have the opportunity to build brand recognition during this entire time too, right?
Exactly.
So
And I think that's why we are doing the weekly, the same people kind of come in every week, and then it's always there, right? We get up to about 250 views after a week of it being live. So,
That's
I mean,
awesome.
I know it's not that many, but it's
there. No. Don't take that away from yourself, because that's more views than you would have got if you didn't do it. So don't like, there's no, right now there's no minimum. What does that look like? I don't even know what the word is. Tammy's asking you a question. If you can share that name of what was it, Tammy?
Of my marketing girl?
Yes, please.
Okay. She's my girlfriend from high school, but not to be, what do you call it, biased, but she's amazing. Like, she's really good at what she does. She has a consulting company, and she does a lot of content writing, and she's done, if you look at our Facebook right now, she's done all of our Facebook stuff right now.
Carrie, can you share the name of your Facebook group, just so the people that here don't know who you are will be able to look it up? Not everybody knows Carrie Ann. And then any other strengths? I know people have the strengths through COVID, so come on guys, what are some strengths that we saw? I'm gonna start picking on people.
I'll say.
Yay, Jeff.
So our head ISA girl, we have a team of ISAs at MRN. Our head ISA had a great idea to do Thursday listing talks. So we have our listings go live every Tuesday and Wednesday. So then Thursday, she goes live on Instagram, and she goes live with that agent. So whether there's, a couple listings, she'll give the agent a time slot, and they'll go on every Thursday. I think it's 1 o'clock she'll go on. And she'll just kind of banter back and forth with the agent, ask about the property. And then she records that, and then the agent can post that on his or her social media. They can post it on our Facebook page, stuff like that. And then also Sandy's been doing a lot of masterminds. So we basically have, I think, 2 or 3 a week that he takes the promotional video for each mastermind. And he blasts that out to all of his people and tries to just really get just like masterminding with people on different topics. And we do that 2-3 times a week. So yeah, those are 2 things that we've tried to, obviously like virtual stuff happening, but yeah.
I love it. Thank you. Kayla, what do you got going on? What were some of your strengths?
Strengths, I don't know if this counts as a strength, but since we basically decided to switch to working from home long term, we canceled our office. So for me as an admin, my strength is I have a lot more focus on my work day because there's way less interruptions. But yeah, that's just been working out, and even just personal life as well. Like now I don't have to commute and things like that. So yeah, I would say that. I don't know if that counts or if that's what you're looking for, but
That's a total win.
Yeah, I find it works a little bit better for our team, and
Yeah.
I find our team members are being like more respectful of our time in that sense, where we're not getting so many sort of like, oh, could you just do this for me real quick? Like,
Yeah.
it's almost like they're being a lot more mindful of their requests, which we're always there to help, but sometimes it's those midday interruptions. Whereas now, since it's coming in an email, it's a little easier for us to kind of be like, we will do it later, as opposed to when they come up to you in person and kind of expect you to do it right then and there. So
We are right there with you. Everything you just said, I'm pretty sure if Montana's on this call, she 100% agrees. Working from home was such a blessing. Such a blessing. And we came back to the office 2 weeks ago. So we made the decision. But it's been very relaxed in the fact that if we need to work from home, we do. So it's been wonderful. So Montana fully agrees, even though it says Megan. That's Montana. And some things you changed for the better. So Kayla, that's definitely something you guys changed for the better. You got rid of that huge expense. You knew working from home works. You can all do it. One of the things that we learned during it is that because we were the same way, agents will come at you and throw stuff and be like, here you go, with no ill intention, strictly because it's like, you're right there. And one of the things we learned is they would send emails, and we have a WhatsApp group for pretty much every department in our team. And one of the things we learned is that your headset needs to go on tighter, is that when they do send you an email or they do respond in the WhatsApp group, to kindly acknowledge it. I see this and I will get to it. We would read it and sometimes not respond. Who's this guy?
That's David.
How's it going, everybody? I'm David. I'm just learning.
Okay, pull up a chair and learn, David. We have some questions for you.
Sweet.
Does anyone want to talk to David and ask David some questions?
I think this is a therapy session. This is good. I need this.
So one of the things, guys, is when an agent is sending you an email or a WhatsApp asking you to do something, kindly acknowledge it for them so they don't wait all day thinking, have they done it? Did they get to it? Our team is very big on communication, so it's really important. And we didn't take that as we weren't acknowledging them. We were just busy doing all of our stuff. So if you are using email method, WhatsApp group, etc., make sure you're acknowledging when they ask something of you. Does that make sense? Oh, so Maria, I didn't even see Maria jump in here, or did I already see you, Maria? Where are you? Okay, Maria, so we'll go right to CRMs. That's a great question. There is going to be 100 different answers on this call right now. So I'm going to tell you what CRM we use, and then if anyone else wants to unmute themselves before I ask everyone individually what CRMs they use. So obviously, Command. Right? I think it's safe to say we need to tell you how great Command is. Our team uses a CRM called Commissions Inc. We made the commitment long before Command came into play, and it just works really well. We're a very high-level functioning team. Our database is 9,000 contacts in it, probably a little bit more right now, and we needed something that was going to be fast and reliable. And at the time, and actually, to be quite honest, right now we only utilize it at 65%. The thing's a monster. It can do so much stuff for us. So it integrates with BombBomb, Mojo, all that good stuff. So it works really well for us. So we use Commissions Inc. It can be a bit costly. There is a standard monthly rate. We do what is called SEO, where we have search optimism and pay-per-clicks and all of that fun stuff. So it can get a little bit higher. I don't know if you guys can hear that beeping. So who is up next to talk about their CRM?
We use Top Producer.
Do you guys use Top Producer? We started with Top Producer.
Karen has used it since they started. she lives and breathes by it. Yeah. So.
Yeah, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, it's she actually doesn't want to go into command, but so.
There's a lot of people right now, I guess, and to be honest, I shouldn't even be saying this or whatever about commands, but in terms of Canada versus US, it's really high functioning in the US, and it's slowly integrating into the Canadian side of things. In fact, it's probably a lot more out there than I even know it is nowadays. However, it is actually pretty incredible. I use it for my own personal stuff, not for the team. And it's so easy for you to use.
And I think they also made it easier for teams now too, right? For admins and stuff like that. I think Jill just had a course or some sort of thing online.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jill pushed that.
What's that?
Jill pushed that back. Team Command isn't completely ready yet. So he actually pushed this training class back to November.
There was a training class in September though that he did. I guess maybe just to introduce it, but I don't know. So it's pushed back to November?
Yeah, I mean, we might get it in October. I don't know. We'll see. There was a lot of stuff that was supposed to come with Mega Camp that got pushed back too, right? Like they're running into some issues, but what's there and what works now is awesome.
And what else do we have, guys? So Maria was saying they use Insightly, but she wanted to see if there are better options to upgrade, as it doesn't have much organization for the team options. Honestly, check out Command in terms of the functions. Low cost, very easy to use. There is Top Producer, just like Carrie said. That's kind of the direction a lot of people took. We were in Top Producer before we switched to Commissions Inc. And then, is anyone here using Follow Up Boss that can speak to that?
I am. We are.
Yeah, we use Follow Up Boss.
We actually use, when I started with Justin a couple years ago, he didn't have a CRM. He was using a lead generating, but wasn't using anything outside of like an Excel spreadsheet. So we now have Agent Locator captures a lot of our leads, and it filters into our Follow-Up Boss. So as well, when we do any campaigns or anything on Command, they also filter back into Follow-Up Boss.
Oh, nice.
So it's in terms of, to be less corny, following up, their system is 100% for that. You know, if you want to set it and forget it for lead campaign or drip campaigns to leads, as well as follow up for your agents, as an admin, it was the best one that I could set things up and then not have to worry about it. And for me, that's priceless. That's huge. And it keeps track of when they're doing what they should and what they're not. So it's easily accountable and easily set. And we just started using it the end of last year, and we will be using Command as well. The intention was to just, you know, we were only going to use Follow Up Boss, but as Command gets better and because it is free, it's hard to not want to explore that, especially as admins, because anytime you can get something for free, you know, it's.
Yeah.
But until there are some things in Follow Up Boss that I just can't so far find a way to do in Command, and for those would be the reason that we would never leave, because it grabs leads from everywhere. It's great. It's really great.
It is good. Our team is using Command for Facebook ads and whatnot, and they're just having a really good. It's surprising, like, you know how when the office is saying how incredible it was, and you're like, I believe you, but I'm just not ready to believe you yet, kind of thing. And then one of our agents did it, and she had something like 30 leads over a weekend. And they actually, not every one of them, I don't even know what the conversion rate, transact. I was like, holy crap, like that's good. So now everybody's giving it a go.
And I hate change. Like I'm that one that once I've got something set, I don't want to have to go and fix it. And already I'm like, okay, just the idea that Command 2, I can create all the fields myself for what's going to be best for our team and that kind of thing. And it's very customizable. That's
it just has a nice layout. I don't know about you guys, but like let's take Top Producer for instance. It does still have its old look, and no matter how many times they do an upgrade, the physical appearance of it. So when I log into my CRM, if I log into that, I'm just like, oh, it just looks like it's an old monster. And then you go to Command, and it just flows so nicely. Even though we still use Commissions Inc. Commissions Inc. is just as fine. It's a little bit like Top Producer in a sense that it looks mechanical to me. It gets the job done. So I hope that helped you a little bit, Maria. I mean, feel free to ask any additional questions around the CRM. To be honest, you have to take what your team needs and then look at the CRMs and kind of pick from there. That would be the best thing to do. Look at the cost, how many team members you have, can it accommodate more should you hire, and what the templates look like, your campaigns. Those are all the important stuff in a CRM. All right. What we got for time? Oh, we're good. So then you move into, I totally forgot we had a slideshow going. And is slideshow the correct word anymore? Like is slideshow like old saying? Is it presentation now? I don't know. So anyways, 2021 and what does that hold? I have no idea why the number 14 is here, guys. I'm going to say, I don't know. So 2021 vision. That says director, but it should be direction. I honestly was not drinking when I did this. It just, so much happened. So in 2021, you want to be able to talk to your team about your vision, what your future looks like, and what the direction of the team is going to. So for us, I don't know if I have it here. I think I've showed you guys this before. I'm aggressive with my chair and my mat. Chris has an organizational chart, and every year we attack this chart. So he created this. I know you guys can't see it, but he created it years ago. He's got our main team here, coaching, website, ISA, management, investments. Like we're talking like a big vision map. Like think Walt Disney, and then this is Chris Knighton. So then every year we tackle that. So we talk about this year we hired this many people. This year we increased our administrative team by this. And then we go into what are we going to do this year? So we announce if we're doing 6 more buyer agents, 3 more listing agents. If that's the case, we will need to hire this many more people for operations. Actually having a vision for your team. You don't need to know that vision, or sorry, you don't need to have that vision, but you need to know it. So knowing what your agent's goals are, and then if it is recruiting, then everybody recruits together that same goal. Budget. Obviously, what we learned, because we asked our agents what they want to see this year as opposed to what we did last year, and it was pretty much unanimous. Nobody wanted to focus on the budget. No one wanted to know where the most of our funds were allocated, et cetera, et cetera. They're just like, just tell us what we're doing this year with our money. Like, forget last year, it's gone, it's spent. What are we doing with marketing this year? What's our budget for marketing, and where are we going to put those dollars? And then we ask our team how they would like to see the marketing budget spent. And then my favorite thing to do, and we are going to be doing it this year, this is my #1 goal for 2021, is what are we launching? What are we doing that's going to elevate the business? What are we doing that's completely different than we've ever done before? And what are we going to do to take the team to a higher sales increase? And I told, as I said earlier, every one of our admin team is dedicated to figuring out a way to elevate the business for them in their position. Montana's going to look at new commission structures, make sure we cover all the gray areas, and launch a whole new commission structure so it's understandable for onboarding. Our listing manager, Shannon, is going to be launching a completely virtual world that may look like iPads, DocuSigns, all there, no more paperwork being brought back to the office. That was a huge deterrent for us because if that paperwork wasn't brought back, everyone knows our team does not accept paperwork that's not fully signed. We give it back to the agent. The listing doesn't go live until that stuff's signed. So if we can eliminate that, and it saves the pressure off of everybody. So yeah, so I think, guys, I don't know. Oh, organizational chart. We kind of talked on this last slide though. Who are we looking to hire for next year? And did we meet this year's organizational chart? So everyone knows that I stand firm about having your organizational chart. This is a vision map. So this isn't your organizational chart. This is your vision map, okay? Your organizational chart will be your bubble, which is your team leader. Then you have your administrative team, you have your listing side, you have your buyer side, or if you're all in on one thing specifically. Looking at your organizational chart from last year and comparing it to this year and where you're gonna go. Let your team know what the vision is, what you're gonna do to get there. So the reason why I talked about this today, guys, is because it's really important that you guys have your hands in the business planning. Let the agent say, I need you to take this, this, and this and create something for me. Okay? You should be working side by side with your agent. So does anyone have any questions before I jump into this last one, which is a big one? No? Okay. So one thing that's really important, and I wanted to dedicate an entire admin meeting to us just doing this, and we will one day, I have no problem doing this with you guys, is your own growth. So what does 2021 look like for you guys? Does anyone want to share what plan they have for themselves in 2021? And if it's a secret, we won't tell anybody. And I do like secrets. I can keep good ones. So don't make me pick on people, guys. Come on. This is all of ours. Kelly? Hi, Kelly. What's your growth plan for next year? Did anyone notice how close I got to the camera? I must have looked goofy.
Oh, there we go. Our growth plan is to hire another admin, but right now we have a co-op student, so I'm kind of taking advantage of that as well.
Yeah.
And totally backing out of my role on the admin side and taking more of a director of operations role and overseeing everything.
Yay, that's awesome.
I feel like I'm putting my big girl pants on.
It's about time.
And I am giving her a lot more pushback on some of the things that she doesn't realize that she's doing. So it is working to my favor, actually.
That's awesome. So you have a big year in front of you then.
Yes. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, who else here? I'm just gonna play like some roulette game, you guys. Come on.
I'll go.
Okay.
Karen is sort of slowly trying to step away from the business. And so I'm trying to slowly take her and trying to put our appointments and everything more onto our other agents.
Mm-hmm.
But we also want to hire another agent as well. Up until yesterday, she's like, oh, we need to hire another agent. And I was like, oh God, okay. But no, yeah, I'm trying to kind of give her days off, more days off here and there than she would have normally, which is very difficult for her. But I guess I'm trying to step up more to be more of the lead role in the business, as I'm sort of next in line, I guess, without being a licensed agent.
So you don't need to be a licensed agent to run a team. And
no,
awesome.
I know. And I love my team. So they're pretty down to earth, and I get along with them very well. So, and they normally listen to me, but.
So I love all your language. I'm going to try to step it up some, and they normally love me. Like those are some key taglines right there.
One of our guys is a young guy. He's been in the business for a while, but his paperwork and his kind of motivation to follow up and to do things like that he's very difficult to talk to sometimes and to kind of guide sometimes, because when he doesn't like something, he'll just like shut down.
Yeah.
So, but then when he doesn't like something, he'll argue about it, but then he'll do it and be like, oh, that was a great idea. And we're like, why did you, excuse my language, bitch about it earlier? Like, you know, so.
I think we all have someone on our team that's kind of like that. You have to give them the push. And then
Yeah.
once they do, yeah.
And his paperwork is atrocious.
That's a whole other meeting for us, because trust me, we've got different levels. We have people who perfect their paperwork, who actually like live to be praised for how perfect their paperwork is. And then we have others who are like, I don't even know where I put it. Like, how do you not know?
Yeah.
So that's a whole other meeting for us.
Yeah.
So what I want you guys to do, and I'm not giving you homework, I'm just going to challenge you all. And this is even for the admins who have been in the role less than 2 to 3 weeks. And Tammy, I know you have a couple admins with you right now. So this is definitely something that we should be doing as an administrative team. We got someone in here. I would love to talk about paperwork challenges with agents next meeting. Absolutely, guys. There is nothing that the majority of us here have probably seen every excuse in the book. We could write a book. We could write a book on paperwork excuses. So why don't we do this? Why don't we set up November to be all about paperwork? And the newer admins, I ask you to please come back. If you didn't find this entertaining, we'll make next month's even better. And we will focus on paperwork, how to fire your agents if they don't bring paperwork to you. You don't fire them, but you know what I mean. Especially if they're running the team, you can't really fire them. How to get paperwork done and still follow like a yes, how mentality when you're working with them, okay? So we'll definitely focus on that next week, Kayla, for sure, or next month for sure. So what I'm gonna challenge you all to do, all of you, there isn't one on here who's too new to do this, I'm telling you right now. I want you guys to think about something that you can improve on. And this is a big one, guys. How many deals do you want to bring to the team? I say deals, but I really want to say clients. How many clients will you bring to the team in 2021? What new systems, if any, do you need to implement? And commit it to what? What is your commitment to the team? A commitment to me isn't showing up from 9 to 5. That's not a commitment, that's a job description. So what is your commitment to the team? Is your commitment to give back by supporting the agents in every endeavor they take? What is your commitment to the team? And ROI, no matter how many deals you bring to the team, I still want to know, what is an admin's ROI? An ROI is return on investment. And I don't really like saying that, but your agent has hired you. He pays you a salary. She pays you a salary. What do we do to make that, to get that back for them? And one of the things that I've really taken a huge liking to right now, and I've always have, but I'm really more focused on it lately, is the yes, how mentality. Yes, I can do that for you, and here's how. I even like to throw in, and here's when it's going to get done, so don't ask me in 15 seconds if it's done. So the yes, how, and when mentality, not the no, I can't. As admins, I'm going to leave us with this before we open it up to questions. As administrators, especially from a director of operations standpoint, we should never be saying, no, I can't do that. If your agent comes to you and asks you to do something and you truly don't know how to do it, what do you do? Tammy?
Go to the source.
Or go find somebody else who's done it before.
Yeah. Go to the source.
Karen's biggest thing is go to the source. Go straight to the...
Chris is like, what's your best resource if we ask him a question? And my answer is clearly Chris. I wouldn't be here if I didn't have to ask you. And then he gets mad when we say Google. So those aren't resources. Your team leader and Google are not, obviously. And you know what it is, guys? It's this group right here in front of you. okay? Your biggest ally, your biggest resource is every single person on this call. Because there's someone in this group who has been in the same position of you at some point, dealing with the same issues that you have dealt with. And if one doesn't pick up their phone or respond to an email, do never take it personal. We have 1,000 other people too. Just find the next admin. There's every single one of the people in this call is always dedicated and there to help in any way possible. So I want us all to keep that in mind, okay? So I really want you guys to take the opportunity to sit down and actually go through those questions for yourself. And if anyone's here thinking, well, my agent probably doesn't want to talk to me about them, they don't really ask me those types of questions. I'm more so just here to do my paperwork, et cetera, et cetera. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that system. That's your team system. And if that's the case, you can call me personally and tell me all of these things. If you want somebody to hear you and hear what your plan is for 2021, there's nothing that I love more. So you guys can call, I mean, my cell phone's out there anywhere. You can personally call me or text me and share this information with me. And I will help you guys get there. So now I think that's it. Let me just check and make sure. Yep, no more slides. Let's do this. Here we all are. Look at us. Okay, so do we have any questions? Or anything? Sorry, Tammy, am I keeping you awake?
No, I've been up since 20 after 5 this morning.
Well, tomorrow get up at 5 a.m.
I have 125 rolls of saw delay tomorrow. I will be up.
Oh yeah, you're getting your pool done, aren't you?
The pool is in.
Oh, it's in.
Yeah, just have to landscape now.
Very nice. So does anyone have any questions? Or anything they want to talk about?
Can I ask, how many of you all deal with, like, actually deal with your clients? No? Oh, okay. Cause, well, I know there's a lot of people that don't, a lot of admins that don't deal with them at all, I guess. But I
What do you
deal
mean
with,
don't deal with them?
yeah.
Okay, Ashley right there. Ashley said she doesn't.
I'm just gonna, when I started, I never, up until this year, never interacted with clients in the sense of I didn't email directly to them. I don't take, and still to this day, I don't take the phone calls. I don't answer them. They go directly to our team lead, and he prefers it that way. And so basically what I'm getting at is it's all a matter of when your team lead feels comfortable relinquishing that. And don't, I found myself taking it as a personal thing. I thought often, I'm like, is it that he doesn't trust me to do? And that's not what it is at all. It's not me, it's them, right? Like, so you have to, but 2 years, we're almost at 3 years. And it took me this till now. And when I say now I'm interacting with them, I feel like it's the clients are at a comfort level where they contact me instead of him. And it's because he's at a point where I'm like, you don't have, like, there's a reason why you're paying me. Like, you don't have time. So that, you know, when someone calls and says like, oh, can I get another copy of the showing that I'm seeing tonight? Because I just can't find it. Like, Justin doesn't need to be dealing with those kinds of things, but he did. And it took up until now to not. So there's hope in the end. But yeah, 2.5 years of no, like I rarely, and if I was communicating with a client, he would read the email and approve it before it would go. So that's a lot.
Wow, you built a lot of trust over those couple years, Ashley.
And we worked together at another place for a very long time where I ran agent services and I ran deals administration. So it's not like I was new to him. Like, we were very comfortable in our trust with each other. And then we both left that and came to Keller Williams together. So it's not like we had a new relationship or anything, or we had never worked together before, but that's my team lead's level of where he was. And it just took that long. And trust me with his life, like I work in, you know, above his house. So it's not even like there was that. It's just some people prefer to have that. And until you can break through. And when you do, you almost go like, that's great. But then I have now a different sense of responsibility that I have to think about, right? Because now I've taken him out and now it's on me and making sure that I'm facilitating everything to them and then back to him as well.
It's a perfect example, and I always say this too, it's a perfect example of you have to be able to mimic your agent. So you need to be able to pick up where they left off with a client, and it's like mirror and match how they treat their clients. I mean, you treat them the same or you treat them better. And that's like really what it is. I don't, the only time now that I get to be involved in like the client stuff hands-on is if there's any issues or we get to a point where a client needs to talk to me about that stuff. And it's kind of a sad thing because I used to be the executive assistant, the listing manager, the transaction coordinator, the marketing girl, and I talked to them through every level of a transaction. And now it's like, so if you're a director of operations and you're not touching files anymore, like it's sad. You'll never have a review again for you because they don't even know who you are sometimes. So yeah. What were you looking for, Carrie? Are you thinking like Karen's not letting you talk to clients?
Oh no,
or-
I do a lot. I do majority of it. I book all her appointments. I do everything. She calls me the cog of her wheel. No, I do everything,
nice.
but it's like, how far do you go? Because I know I don't know. Like I dealt with tenants, I dealt with,
It's okay. We've all been there, Carrie Ann.
Jessie's nodding her head. Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, depending how big your team is, like, we have a team of 25 agents that are all over the place, like Hamilton, Windsor, London, Kitchener. And we have one client care girl, and she is amazing, but she is the main contact. Like, she is the only one that talks to clients. None of the other departments touch clients. We have a big system where basically in our CRM, like as soon as I get deal paperwork or listing paperwork, I am activating an action plan in Follow Up Boss right away, where she gets a task that basically she has a welcome call with the client or a text or an email, and she is their first point of contact, and the agent lets the client know, hey, Kristen's going to be calling you. Kristen's your person. Kristen can get you a plumber. Kristen can do anything for you. That's your contact. And she is the one person that deals with the clients, the tenants, the showings, all that stuff. So everyone else can kind of work on their 20%.
That's awesome. Maria wrote in here that she does most of the time. Clients will still call, but the clients will still contact the agent if there's any questions or issues, unless they feel comfortable for email and ask me for help. So here's the thing, every team is going to function differently. So Maria, I kind of understand that one too. Our agents build the initial rapport. So when they go on the deal or the client or the appointment, they build that relationship. When it comes back to us, 9 out of 10 times they'll immediately go and call the agent instead of calling us back if we've called them, because they want that. Some people don't understand the team dynamic is basically what I'm saying, right? So they'll keep going to the agent, and we'll try really hard to I'll answer that for you. Let me take care of this now. With that being said, when there becomes anything that's in terms of negotiation, what other things, Montana, like closings, any little things like real estate related, we send that right back to the client or the agents. They deal with those particular questions. So yeah, I think everybody kind of unless then they will touch with them with an email and then docs unless they are previous clients. We have a different system on our buy side. So our listing side, the administrators are really hands-on talking to the clients. On the buy side, the agents pretty much do all the relationships with them. We talk to them at the minute they get a deal. We talk to the client through the finishing of the transaction. That'd be Montana, right, Montana? You would pretty much deal with them from contract to close. Yeah. So we have 10 minutes left. Does anyone have anything that they kind of wanted to touch base on before we go? No, everyone's good. Did everyone enjoy themselves today? Awesome. All right. So I want to leave everybody with this one last thing. We have a lot of administrators out in the community right now who have either been laid off from COVID or who have not yet been placed back onto their teams. So if anyone's looking to hire anyone, I would say from Hamilton to Niagara and Hamilton to, Toronto, really. Let me know. So, and maybe we can find a match for people. Okay. All right. Bye, everybody. Have a good weekend.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Bye, everybody.